So in the first stage of processing, if I run get all data 2016, Natalie name, the first thing it does is it checks about a few frames. We'll come back to that another time. And then the first thing it does is it checks to see whether to filter some of the bees on area. So when I'm saying bees, it could be fragments of bees. It could be often there's a very small things that get picked up as a bee. And in this case, what I'm plotting is this is just a histogram of the area. So you can see most of the bees, if they are bees, are around the 500. There are some that are very small. Now, often they can be very small because actually we've only got a fragment of the bee because it's over something black, and then actually we want to keep that, or it can be because it's just a bit of noise. Now, because of that, I plot a scatter plot of the area against the bee color. So you can see that probably these up here are both small and they're quite light. So dark is blacker here. So probably these are kind of not bees. Alongside this, it just shows all the data that's going to be used. And this we can my program has been ignore all that. So here it's showing me which bees we've got and showing whether they've got any frames that have got 2 bees in them, which indicates that we've got an issue. So some of these are good, some of these are bad. You see that these ones, there's 2 frames, which is the red one, and both of them have got another bee in it. So probably this is erroneous. This is probably erroneous. This is probably erroneous. It could be that where there's a second bee in it, it's the bee, it's been somehow during the processing thing, it's been split into 2 bees. That could be something. Or it could be that it's just a bit of noise, right? So how do we get rid of this? Well, there are multiple ways we get rid of it. This way, we could basically, first of all, pick a value, a lower value for which bees we're going to remove. So let's say if I remove a bee that's under like 20, maybe 50. Let's see. Let's say I remove bees that are under 6. I'm going to go even. I'm going to go 80, under an area size of 80, right? So that's got rid of a load of the bees, and now you can see that I'm all fine here, right? It's got rid of all these. Now the problem is it might have got rid of some good bees. We don't know. There are some bees at the beginning. There's some frames which have no bee in at the beginning, but it looks like that could be okay. So I'm going to say that's all right. I'm going to get rid of those ones, right? Now, if you do get rid of bees based on area, we then go into another bit of the program. It basically, because often we get small bees. So often, if it is really a bee that's being processed, right? But it's become small. It's maybe because it was over the nest at the time. It was just emerging, and so it became like half a bee that was coming out. So it became a small bee, and actually we would want to keep that, right? So what I do is I check if I've removed ones because of size. I check to see if any of those ones that I've removed are over the nest, and then allow you to look at those again. Okay, so we'll just I'm going to pause the recording for a second and come back to it. Okay, so if I've removed any bees, right, that and some, well, if I've removed bees because of size and some of them are close, they're within 3 centimeters of the nest, it asks me if I want to check them, right? So it says basically, look, I've removed 9 bees. This shows where they are. They're not necessarily in this frame. This is just the first frame of the thing, right? They're not necessarily in this frame. They're all in this position here. I've excluded 9 of them within 3 centimeters of the nest, as it said. If they were plotted in red, it would be a frame that had no other bee in it. So that would be worth looking at, right? So at this stage, I could just delete all of them. I could just keep them all if I'm a bit worried about it. Like in this case, because there's second stages of processing, I could do that. I could check them all, or I could just remove the green ones, which is kind of this safe option, right? What I'll do is I'll just go through and show what happens if I check them. So if I check them, so here, if I press 2, Oh, I need to be with this highlighted. If I press 2, it should allow me to check them. So this one is now showing it with the relevant B. It's basically, it's just highlighting that. It's not really part of the B. I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to say I press 1 if there's a B, or N to remove it. I'm going to remove that. And it tells me there's one other B in this frame. So it's Y or no, right? So no, I want to remove that. No, I don't want to keep frame 59 either. I don't want to keep frame 77 or 79 or 81 or 83 or 85 or 87. I'm going to get rid of this one. Get rid of this one. Okay, so I've got rid of those B's, right? Now, and that's all good. Now, bear in mind, if I had got rid of them, and maybe later that was a problem. Now, later on in the program, it checks to see if there's any frames where there's a gap in the trajectory, right? And so it'd be able to check them later. So it's not a big problem if you get rid of them. Equally, you could keep them and get rid of them at a later stage. So anyway, that's how that works. I'm just going to pause now because there's one extra feature which is quite handy. One sec while I pause. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to add an extra bit. So the as observant among you would have noticed that if I've got to this stage where I'm going to remove some bees because they're too small. Now I removed them and it only got rid of a few of them. Whereas, so if I pick the area cutoff that I've got here is like 100, right, which is kind of too big, right? Let me carry on with this thing. So what you'll notice is that there are quite a few bees that have got area under 100. So these are the bad ones, but these are actually quite good ones. So why didn't my previous program remove all of those? Well, the reason is what I do basically, based on the identity of the bee, so whether there's a continuous track of the bee, I only remove it if it's not part of a bee that's being kept, if you like. So it's done in this bit here for anybody who's delving deep into the code. So what I do is I check for all the ones that, so I'm going to remove all of these ones. So there's like 21 of these, right? Or 22 bees that I would remove, 9 of which are bad, 13 of which are good. So what I do is I check what identity these bees have got. And in this case, some of them, so in this case, the first one is the actual bee track, right? So the ones that are being kept of this bee, there's 13 of them I've got that are within that, and 80 of them which are actually being kept, right? So I check if this ratio of the ones I'm going to remove versus the one I'm being kept is less than 25%, then I'll take them. But if it would be removing too many of them, right? So if in this case, I'm only going to keep them if this is less than 20, so it's only if I'm removing. So there's a number total. Let's see. So here, the number I'm keeping is 80. The number I've got here. So if I've got this, this is 16. So it should go into this. So I basically, I do that and I add, if I'm keeping a lot of these bees, so this checks whether I'm normally keeping a lot of them, which I am, then this step, I remove them from the ones that I would remove. It's all getting a bit circular. I'm not sure whether this video is going to make much sense, but basically, if there's lots of bees of that bee that are being kept in, I don't remove it. Anyway, that's enough about that. I'm not sure that makes any sense at all. Hopefully it makes a little bit of sense. Okay, that's it.